Good evening and welcome to Primetime News on Loveworld side. I'm Maneo Scott.
This is your African News Update. My name is Hilary Chodokfa. Thank you so much for joining us.
Car Center, informal settlement north of Johannesburg, more than 20 years old. With less than a month to the country's most anticipated poll, we speak to residents just to find out what are the most pressing issues in this community.
When I look at the last 100 years in South Africa, this country's been through a major change and upheavals, and when I see the country 40 years ago, different cultures were united in one cause on both sides of the race line. And where I see our country currently is that there's no purpose, there's no united cause. We're kind of in the fallout of having experienced the ANC coming into South Africa and making that, taking over. And we needed that. Every country needs a revolution, and we're kind of now in the fallout afterwards is we need a government that can come in and develop our economy, that can not just say or focus on jobs and say we're going to bring in jobs, but actually present plan of actions on how we're going to create jobs for people in this country.
Financial problems affect many households in South Africa. In some instances, can lead to divorce. Where does it all go wrong? Behavior. What is your financial behavior? Let's hear from this financial expert.
Tepo has started an agriculture project with the kids.
Well, the idea came about from the fact that, there's so much poverty happening in the townships, and the kids don't know much about agriculture, And we're growing up in modern times where people are focusing on computers and computer games.
Africa's President Jacob Zuma will be in Zimbabwe to attend the South Africa-Zimbabwe Binational Commission taking place on Thursday.
We are at the Sandton Convention Center where the Finance Indaba Africa is taking place. We'll be talking to stakeholders, the keynote speakers, and the organizers of the event.
It is the largest gathering in the history of the continent of finance professionals, 9,000 finance professionals in 2 days. I mean, this just doesn't happen. So that was the one part. The second part about my presentation is, as you know, I'm an entrepreneur. I run a capital investment business. I run a series of other sort of facilitation businesses. And then most importantly, which is what people know me for, is I run an advisory business through which I speak, right? So we do a lot of research which is based on organizations and how organizations are transforming and facing change. And so my talk about barriers at the gate is about change organizations are facing and how they need to respond to that change.
We're in Johannesburg today at the Side Bono Discovery Center, where a great initiative is taking place. The Pioneer Nation, in conjunction with Levi's event, is taking place over 2 days, celebrating entrepreneurs in South Africa under the age of 30. Come with me as I explore and talk to these phenomenal young people. I'm here with Mr. Brands, who is the founder of the Pioneer Nation in conjunction with Levi's today. And I'll be speaking to him about when did this project start, and he's going to tell us a bit more. So thank you so much for talking to us today.
No, thank you for having me.
Yes.
Okay, the start came from conversations. It came from talking to a lot of young people about what's on their mind, what's their biggest fear in life. And Levi's sent us out to try and determine where people's heads were at. We heard time and time again, I'm worried about my future. I'm worried about what I'm going to do. And I'm worried about getting a job because I keep hearing not enough jobs.
Yes.
Yeah? In the same conversation, in the same sentence, they said, but I don't actually want a job. I want to run my own business.
Right.
I want to start my own company. I'm going to start it. And we said, okay, what are the barriers? And they surprised us. They told us honestly, yeah, the obvious one's money. I don't have any money. Capital. A lot of kids were very honest. They said, I don't know how to. And the thing that surprised us the most, my parents would kill me if I did this. So there's a definite lack of community support for young people becoming entrepreneurs. As much as there is difficulty with financing and difficulty with understanding how to do the entrepreneurship kind of journey. Pioneer Nation, the festival, brings together young people who are already in business. There's bunches of them out there. They don't know they exist. They don't see each other, find each other easily. And God knows the people who are interested in starting businesses have a hard time finding them. So we simply curate. We bring them together and we say, share your story. Tell us the truth. Tell us how your overnight success wasn't overnight at all. Tell us how many times you heard the word no. Tell us like those days when you thought you were going to like quit.
A few days ago, students from many educational institutions around South Africa embarked on a strike concerning the matter of fee increase. Now, according to the Minister of Education, Blade Nzimande, at a press briefing in Pretoria on Monday, he said that the adjustment of fees should not be more
The
than 8%.
awards are aimed at honoring men and women who made a commitment to make worthy contributions towards redefining government entities. The state-owned enterprises procurement practices in supply chain management within state-owned entities, spearheads good governance, policy formulation, and in the main supports the developmental agenda of the country. On the other hand, the state-owned entities Communicators Association, SOWECA, whose mandate centered on communicating the role of SEOs to the public, have demonstrated exceptional services to advance the mandate of state-owned
also
entities.
known as City of Gold, economical hub of South Africa, with lots of opportunities for young people, but confronted with many challenges, amongst them a very high unemployment rate. This promoted young people like Lawrence Ramokola to find alternative ways to generate income. Lawrence produces different kinds of artworks using paint and wood.
Do you read books? It's easy to access, available in e-format for the technology-friendly, but yet the culture of reading lacks, especially nowadays. The Department of Arts and Culture in 2015 launched the National Book Week to encourage the culture of reading. Studies shows that the majority of households in South Africa don't own a single book.
For the past 2 days, South African reports have been spiraling out of control due to an issue about the black girls' hair and PTA girls. We took to the streets of Johannesburg to find out what the citizens think. Is it a racial issue? Or is the black girl uncomfortable with her own blackness? Or should the girls adhere to the school
neighborhood
uniform?
divided by a basic necessity. On one side, formal settlements that pay for electricity legally. On the other side, people living in informal housing, many of them willing to be arrested or even risk their lives for the opportunity to have power in their homes. Illegal electricity connections can be seen on every street. One person climbs up a pole connecting wires to a transformer and running it underground.
Well, these community members came through expressing their dissatisfaction, saying that they feel they've been inconvenienced severely by government. They feel that grant money is not enough. It's leaving them with little money to buy food and other basic essentials. But however, some believe that things will get better by the day. Established in 2013 by a group of young people who came together. They saw a need to contribute positively towards our society. Well, today they'll talk us through, elaborate further as to how are they planning to curb the challenges facing young people today. This foundation focuses on youth development in various community sectors.
Our main aim is to actually develop young entrepreneurs, build young industrialists, and to empower young people who have actually lost hope in their current
As we're celebrating 60th anniversary, we pause to reflect back on the progress made since the dawn of democracy and assess our achievements as a nation. Lerato Mutsamai owns MMD Consulting Company, which provides a short list of 3 suitable qualified candidates according to specifications.
We are an HR and recruitment firm. So what we do is we identify opportunities on the market and place candidates who are obviously best suited for those positions and vice versa. So we are a talent management specialist firm.
She traveled different paths, climbing the traditional corporate ladder, zigzagging upwards by jumping between companies until she starts her own company.
And I was all by myself, and I have a recruitment background and a banking background, so I started recruiting for banks and your mining.
Lerato says she's inspired to succeed against all odds. This is the area where some 10,000 to 20,000 women of South Africa gathered outside the Union building demanding freedom and peace. Well, this year marks their 60th anniversary. Having heard all of that, we took to the streets of Pretoria just to find out what does this month mean to them.
And that's it for this evening's news bulletin. Thank you so much for being with us. Now, any questions and comments that you have for us, please send those to feedback@loveworldsat.org. We do like hearing from you. And your eyewitness news clips. Those are your pictures and your videos and your stories. There must be something that you're catching on your phone. Send those to iwn@loveworldsat.org. From myself, Dean Joseph, and the crew of Primetime News. It's been a great bulletin. Take care.